struggle is real. Who here resonates with that statement? You might be sitting there thinking about your to-do list, miles long, wondering how on earth you're going to get it all done. As a working woman and a mom, this is a constant struggle. And today I want to talk to you about a journey of self-discovery that led to a passion and a motivation to study women in leadership and how they do it all. About 7 years ago, I thought it would be really fun to go back to school. And so I decided that the organization that I was working in was a great place for me to do that. I worked in higher ed at the time, or I still do, and in order for me to start climbing that proverbial ladder, I needed to get my master's degree. So I applied for the Strategic Leadership and Communications program at the university where I work, and I dove right headfirst into getting my master's degree. But what I didn't account for was how hard this was going to be with all of my other responsibilities. At the time, I was a working mom with 2 small kids at home, both under 5 years old. I was really struggling with how do I do it all? How do I get it all done? What do I need to do to manage being a mom and a wife and an employee? And so what I did was I started these studies, but at the same time, our university, we were right smack in the middle of transitioning presidents. Part of our team was men, and the other part of our executive leadership team, they were women. And it was really fascinating to me to watch how the men and the women worked so well together. But what I noticed was how hard the women worked compared to their male counterparts on the president's cabinet. And it was really, really astonishing to me. So as I studied this communications and leadership program, I really became fascinated with studying why did these women, or how did women manage work and family life as well as lead at a very, very high level. So I want to explore some findings from what I learned while I was in my master's program. And I want to talk a little bit about societal norms and how those things influenced the women in these leadership roles, and how there's one barrier and one bridge that I want to focus on today. So let's jump in a little bit. I want to start with this study by the Pew Research Center. In 2018, they conducted a study where they surveyed about 5,000 Americans, not a lot, but enough, and they asked 2 questions. What traits does society value most in men and in women, and what traits does society say men and women shouldn't have? The study provided words and asked for the respondents to rank them positive or negative for both men and women. So let's look at a couple of the outcomes here. The word beautiful was only associated with women at a whopping 100% respondent rate. The word provider was only associated with men, ranking a little greater than 75%. The word powerful was ranked positively when describing men versus negatively when describing women. The word leadership and ambition were highly valued for men versus women. And women also were ranked very highly in the areas of compassion and caring. And what this study shows, and what it points out to me, is one barrier, a perceived barrier that we face as women moving into leadership. You see, we all have varying perspectives here, right? We carry those perspectives with us into the organizations, into our homes where we're going. And they create just enough of a bias that we don't perceive the women as powerful, ambitious, or strong, right? And we don't perceive the men as caring and compassionate. A barrier when thinking about moving women in leadership or men to familial duties at home. So a bridge that I want to talk about now. We know that women bring a lot of several great qualities to leadership. Often, organizations led by women have better policies around women and family. They also have a greater focus on equity and diversity. We also know that women carry a significant amount of the domestic duties at home. They care for the children, pick them up from school, get them to their sports, cook, clean, and do the laundry. Women leaders often have to employ a variety of tactics when managing the family and the work-life balance, right? As former Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg and author of Lean In, Women, Work, and the Will to Lead once stated, I truly believe that the single most important career decision that a woman makes is whether she will have a life partner and who that partner is. I don't know of a single woman in a leadership position whose life partner is not fully, and I mean fully, supportive of her career. No exceptions. This is the bridge. When women have equal partners at home, they are able to accomplish so much more. In that master's degree, I was interviewing some different women, asking them, how are you doing it all? How are you doing it all? All of them said, I have a great partner at home. They pick up the slack. I have a support system in my family. What we see here is the shift in the societal norms. So it's what I want to call the secret sauce. I think this is where we've been getting lost as a society, trying to fix the demands or fix this gender bias that we see as women move into leadership roles. You have to have changed perceptions at home and in the workplace, because when we do this, we not only see men as caring and compassionate fathers and supportive partners, but we see women as strong, capable, and ambitious leaders. We have to have partners that are willing to pick up the slack, right? To cook, clean, and do the laundry, or walk the dog if that's what it is. And you might be wondering, well, why is she talking about all of this to me today? Well, every one of us in here is a thought leader. We're also change agents. And so as our job as thought leaders and change agents, we get to start controlling the narrative about what it looks like for women and men in the workplace and at home. We get to do a little something that I like to call planting the seed. So as you get to know me, you're going to hear this phrase a lot. We get to plant the seeds for change that will grow because of our unique perspective as thought leaders and change agents. We get to talk about the importance of women's role in the workplace, but also the importance of men's role in the home. What we get to do is we get to reap the benefits of seeing women flourish and grow in the workplace and where they're at. So our only struggle from this point on should be watching and reaping those benefits of how the women and the men in the workplace and at home are working together to create a more gender equal environment. Thank you.